Fiat isn't really known for playing it safe with naming conventions, but calling something the Grande Panda while the regular Panda continues to exist, now rebranded as the Pandina, takes a certain confidence. The Grande Panda Hybrid isn't a replacement for the car that's been a fixture of European city streets for decades. It's something different, larger, more crossover-influenced, and deliberately shaped to meet a new set of expectations, while carrying enough visual DNA from the original to make the family connection legible. At 3,999 millimeters long, it lands right at the boundary between small hatchback and compact crossover, which is exactly where a lot of buyers are looking right now. The platform underneath is Stellantis' smart car architecture, shared with the Citroën C3 among others. That kind of platform sharing tends to attract criticism from enthusiasts, but for a car competing in this segment, it's actually a sensible foundation. It keeps costs down in ways that feed directly into the sticker price, maintains structural credibility, and offers enough packaging flexibility to make the interior feel less compromised than the exterior dimensions might suggest. Fiat knows what it's doing with small cars, and building on proven shared architecture, rather than reinventing the wheel, is a reasonable choice when the goal is an accessible, practical product. The exterior design is one of the more interesting decisions Fiat has made here. The visual reference points go back to the original 1980s Panda, the angular one, the one that looked like it had been designed by someone who owned a set square and wasn't afraid to use it. Those sharp lines and flat surfaces have been interpreted through a contemporary lens rather than reproduced literally, and the result is a car that reads as modern while still carrying the geometric honesty of its ancestor. Contemporary lighting elements and sculpted surfaces prevent it from feeling nostalgic in a heavy-handed way. In a segment where most cars look broadly similar and broadly forgettable, the Grande Panda has enough visual personality to make you look twice in a car park, which is not something you can say about every small crossover. The powertrain is a 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder paired with electrified assistance, producing a combined 109 horsepower and 205 newton-meters of torque. Drive goes to the front wheels through a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic. The performance numbers, around 10 seconds from 0 to 100 km per hour, a 160 km per hour top speed, are exactly what you'd expect, and honestly exactly what this car needs to be. Nobody is buying a Grande Panda Hybrid because they want something quick. They're buying it because they want something that moves through city traffic without drama, parks without anxiety, and doesn't cost a fortune to run. The powertrain serves those goals without apology. Fuel consumption is rated at approximately 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. The hybrid system here isn't the kind that delivers meaningful zero-emission urban driving. It's a mild hybrid-style setup designed to smooth out the combustion engine's behavior, improve low-speed responsiveness, and chip away at emissions in the ways that matter most in stop-and-go conditions. It won't deliver the kind of efficiency headline that a full plug-in hybrid can claim, but it also doesn't require the buyer to think about charging infrastructure or adapt their behavior in any significant way. For the target audience, that trade-off is probably the right one. The interior packaging is genuinely impressive given the car's footprint. A 2,540mm wheelbase, long relative to the overall length, means the cabin feels more spacious than a quick glance at the dimensions might lead you to expect. Boot capacity comes in at 412 liters, which is a solid number for a car this size, and puts it ahead of some rivals that sacrifice practicality for styling. The elevated ride height and upright seating position that come with the crossover stance also contribute something real here. Easier entry and exit, better visibility in urban traffic, and a driving position that feels less like you folded yourself into something than some smaller hatchbacks manage. The cabin materials are honest about the car's price point, but Fiat has made an effort to give the interior some character, rather than simply padding it out with anonymous gray plastic. Light-colored trim, eco-inspired details, and bamboo-based accents in certain specifications create an atmosphere that's more distinctive than most competitors at this level. Whether you find the bamboo touches charming or slightly contrived probably depends on your tolerance for environmental signaling in car interiors, but at minimum, they represent a genuine attempt at differentiation rather than a copy-paste job from a corporate parts bin. Higher specification variants bring digital displays and more developed infotainment into the picture, while entry-level trims keep things deliberately simple. An intentional tiered approach that maintains affordability at the bottom of the range while giving buyers a reason to consider moving up. Dynamically, the Grande Panda Hybrid is tuned for the city. The suspension absorbs urban road surfaces without fuss. The steering is light and undemanding, and the overall driving experience is built around stress reduction rather than engagement. Some cars in this class try to be sporty, while clearly not being sporty, which creates a kind of dishonesty that isn't really serving anyone. The Grande Panda doesn't bother with that pretense. It's comfortable, manageable, and predictable, which for most of the people who will buy it is exactly what they need their car to be most of the time. Pricing is a significant part of the proposition. In several European markets, entry-level Grande Panda hybrids are available for under 17,000 euros, which puts it in direct competition with the Dacia Sandero Stepway, a car that has built substantial success precisely by offering value at a level the mainstream manufacturers struggled to match for years. Going up against the Sandero requires either matching its price, beating its practicality, or offering something it doesn't. The Grande Panda's argument is essentially the third option: more distinctive styling, a slightly more premium feel, and hybrid technology that at least positions it sensibly against tightening European emissions regulations. Whether that argument lands strongly enough will play out in the sales figures. The broader picture around this car involves more than one market. The smart car platform's flexibility means derivatives and regional variants are part of the plan, with localized design and equipment adjustments possible across different territories. This adaptability is part of what makes the shared architecture commercially logical. It enables Stellantis to extract economies of scale while still tailoring products to local demands. The Grande Panda is a piece of a larger strategy, rather than a standalone model, which affects how Fiat will invest in and develop it over time. There are genuine limitations worth being clear about. The hybrid system is modest in its electric capability, and buyers expecting meaningful electric-only driving from it will be disappointed. Performance is adequate and no more. Some of the interior materials, even with the design effort applied to them, remind you of the price point when you look at them closely. These aren't failures, they're the natural consequence of building a car to hit a specific number on the window sticker, while still delivering something worth buying. The Grande Panda Hybrid knows what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything else. What Fiat has put together here is a small car with a clear sense of purpose and enough personality to stand apart in a crowded field. The retro design references give it an identity that most competitors in the segment simply don't have. The practical engineering makes a solid everyday case, and the pricing keeps it within reach of the buyers it's aimed at. Budget motoring has spent a long time being synonymous with boring, and the Grande Panda Hybrid makes a reasonable argument that it doesn't have to be.